You think life is hard today? Imagine being torn apart by a shark, sacrificed in a brutal ritual, or undergoing brain surgery with stone tools. Throughout history, humans have faced some of the most horrifying injuries and deaths imaginable. But what's even more shocking, some survived, others weren't so lucky. From the world's first recorded shark attack to the oldest amputation, let's uncover the brutal reality of ancient life. Well, if you look at our 300,000 years of history, you'll quickly realize that 1,000 doesn't even come close. Try more like 1,000,000, if that's enough. Over the ages, people have suffered some excruciating deaths, some far worse than others. Thankfully, due to technology and progress, horrific endings are rarer now than in the past, especially since ancient Earth was much harsher than today. We can only imagine the struggles our ancestors endured. But sometimes we don't have to guess. Occasionally, researchers uncover the remains of unfortunate individuals, revealing the brutal injuries ancient people faced and sometimes even survived. The first recorded shark attack victim. The first case was definitely not a survival story. A 3,400-year-old hunter-gatherer from Japan, known as Tsukumo 24, holds the grim title of the earliest conclusive shark attack victim. Discovered in 2021 near the Seto Inland Sea, his skeleton was covered in over 790 deep lacerations across his arms, chest, abdomen, and hands. At first, researchers thought the wounds were from metal weapons, but the Jomon culture had no metalworking. Upon closer inspection, the V-shaped cuts matched those of modern shark attacks. The injuries were catastrophic, every rib fractured, his chest and abdomen torn open, and his left hand and both feet bitten off. Since these extremities were missing, it suggests he was alive during the attack, likely using them to defend himself. Why did the shark attack? Evidence points to an unprovoked ambush. The victim was found in a burial site, not underwater, meaning his companions likely pulled him from the water after the attack, but couldn't save him. Given that the Jomon people were skilled fishers, it's believed he was spearfishing or retrieving a catch when blood in the water attracted the shark. Shark populations were much higher back then, as seen in Jomon art depicting hammerheads and tiger sharks. So while shark attacks in modern Japan are rare, this poor man's fate was far more common in his time. Gyakujuriua, the oldest known amputation, 31,000 years ago. While some ancient injuries were fatal, others survived against the odds. The oldest known amputation dates back to 31,000 years more in Borneo. Found in Liang Tabo Cave, the individual was missing their left leg and foot. The wound was clean, healed, and deliberate, suggesting a successful childhood amputation. Considering this was done with stone tools and no painkillers, it's an incredible feat, avoiding infection, managing veins and nerves, and allowing the person to live into their 20s. Why was it necessary? The rugged terrain suggests a bad fall or crushing injury, making amputation the only option. Surviving in such a harsh environment with one leg would have required significant community support, showcasing early human compassion. Not all ancient deaths were accidental. Some were horrifically deliberate. In France, 3 women from 5,500 years ago were found buried in a ritualistic manner. 2 were bound, contorted, and buried alive, under heavy grindstones, their legs tied to their necks in a torturous position, resembling the Italian mafia's incapretamento method. The 3rd woman was placed above them, unbound, possibly as a symbolic offering. The burial site was designed so the solstice sun shone directly onto it, indicating a twisted yet organized sacrificial ritual likely tied to agriculture. In Los Angeles' La Brea tar pits, among thousands of Ice Age animals, 1 human was found. La Brea woman, dating back over 10,000 years. Unlike the trapped animals, she likely didn't wander in by accident. Her unbroken jaw, fractured skull, and a small hole suggest she was struck with a weapon before being dumped in the tar. Whether she was already dead or thrown in alive is unknown, but it marks her as LA's oldest known murder victim. In Chile's Atacama Desert, one of Earth's driest places, a 5,500-year-old man, became the earliest confirmed drowning victim. Buried with seashells, researchers found diatoms, algae, in his bones, proving he inhaled water violently enough for it to reach his bloodstream. Living in a coastal community, he endured arthritis, leg deformities, and a tapeworm infection, likely from mishandled fish. Tragically, he died alongside 3 others, another man, a woman, and an infant, possibly in a tsunami or earthquake, though only he drowned. Iron Age suffering, the girl of Uchter Moor. A bog body from Iron Age, Germany, known as Mora, endured a short, painful life. At just 17 to 19 years old, her skeleton revealed 2 severe skull fractures, healed but likely caused chronic headaches, a spinal tumor, causing back pain and leg inflammation, childhood malnutrition and harsh winters. Filled with sickness, she was found naked and alone in the bog, possibly placed there to hide her death. Even in modern times, her remains were accidentally scooped up by machinery and shattered, forcing researchers to painstakingly reconstruct her. The first plague victim, 5,000 years ago. A 20-year-old hunter-gatherer from Latvia was the earliest known victim of Yersinia pestis, the bacteria behind the Black Death. Likely infected by a rodent bite, he died long before the plague ravaged millions in later centuries. Ancient brain surgery, trepanation. One of humanity's earliest surgeries, trepanation, involved drilling holes into skulls, often with stone tools or seashells. A French site from 6,500 BC showed 40% of skulls had attempts, but around over 60% died from infection, blood loss, or brain damage. Reasons range from head injuries, epilepsy, migraines, or spiritual rituals. Shockingly, the practice still exists today, just with better tools and anesthesia. Life in the past was brutal. From shark attacks, amputations, ritual killings, and plague, our ancestors faced horrors we can barely imagine. While violence and suffering still exist, modern medicine and safety have made life far less perilous. So next time you think today is tough, remember, it could always be worse. Thanks for watching, and until next time on Ancient Zone.